The topic of me, or the no me, in animals keeps coming up here. In the Karen story, there was a lot of trying to convince others that animals are sentient and intelligent beings with an entity, while now it's more about understanding that there is no me in humans. Observing animals are seeing what kinds of interpretations Karen me is putting upon them seems to give some insight into the labelling of actions as being personal. So I assume, Karen, if you were trying to convince others that animals are sentient beings, that it was in order to convince others to be vegetarians, or in order to work with animal rights. And there was a projection and sadness projected onto animals about their suffering and what humans do to them, which is Karen's projection. It's in the Karen game, it's in the Karen dance. This sadness about what happens to animals. Hey, Kiss Kiss, you come for a cuddle now. He's a boo-boo. Hello, Kiss Kiss. Hello, Kiss Kiss. He's a boo-boo. We love Kiss Kiss. We love Kiss Kiss. He's so cute, Kiss Kiss. He's huge. Maybe he doesn't look it. He's a monster. He's huge. And it's this false sense of compassion, because what Karen's doing is Karen seeing her own suffering. It's not even Karen's own suffering, it's just in the Karen dream. Hey Karen!
Hi Lisa!
Just as you brought up animals, Cassidy decided to come into the picture. He's so cute.
Let me just see if yeah, okay. I don't know if you were still at the same topic, because I'm always a little bit later.
Yeah. I was still talking about. About projecting into the animals, like what's seen, the suffering seen in the animals is that in the story, in the Karen interpretation, whatever you see in animals couldn't be seen if it wasn't what was seen in yourself.
Yeah.
In the Karen dynamic. So if you see sadness or abuse, it's not what's actually happening with the animals. The animals can't perceive that. They don't have language or complicated speaking. It's just pleasure or pain. Not even that. They can't even comprehend that. There's just experiencing happening. And so what Karen puts onto them is in the Karen dynamic. It's not a separate entity you're seeing. It's in the me projecting into other objects, whether it be moving objects or still objects. And so you're never actually seeing the animals suffering. It's in the Karen game, the Karen me projection. It's all about the way Karen interprets life. And it's not, and then the mind says, but that's what compassion is, imagining myself in another person's body and then not doing the action. And that's not compassion. That's absolute projection. That's self-centeredness.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, it's complete self-centeredness.
Yeah.
Because it's you're just seeing yourself in the other animal rather than the experiencing of what's happening. And then I'm not saying that the body doesn't stop the abuse, if the animal's being kicked or something. I'm not saying that's not the case. But whatever you see is the Karen game. Or whatever's seen is the Karen dance. The Karen story will be projected outwards and inwards.
But then we can expand that to observing another human.
Yeah.
Like there is like this fascination about what is the difference then between the animal, and of course it all doesn't really matter, but if I'm thinking about it and observing, I think that actually if I'm looking at a human and I think there's someone there is no one there either. So why make a difference between the animal and the human in that me
The only difference is the programming's different.
Yeah, but it's both in a way. It's both conditioning. It's just that in the human dynamic, as far as we know, there is thought, and in the animal dynamic, it might be thought too, but it's not the same kind of.
It's not as complicated, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's completely fine. It's as if they say like, why use any words? It's just as it is.
Yeah. It's very simple.
No, but the thing is, when watching animals now, it seems to me like a pointer to realizing that everything that comes up about, oh, this cat is thinking this or he does this because of that, is such an interpretation. And it's not actually what is happening there, and that just kind of reflects back to observing not observing, but that actually everything that is thought about Karen is this and this and this is just as unreal as it is with the animals. So in a way, like turning the whole thing around gives some insight. Apparently, of
it's
course,
exactly the same mechanism. Whoever you see out there and whoever is seen in here, it's not even you, but language begins to get really complicated when you talk about this. Whoever's seen out there and seen in there is the Karen dream. It's not. There's not another person out there. There's just sensory perception happening.
Even the Karen dream.
It's just no. It's not even the Karen dream. It's just a dream appearing. It doesn't even belong to someone. It's so hard to talk about though. Words get reduced more and more. It's just the dream appearing, and it's projecting somebody into one thing, and then back. It's not even back because the aliveness doesn't start anywhere. It's quite funny, the whole dramas that are managed to be played out through this. Like in this Lisa Cairns story, there was hours and hours and hours of crying about all the suffering animals in the world. And all it was ever being seen was a dream of somebody. The animals have no sense of that. It wasn't even for other humans. It was for the animals, and the animals are just experience. There's not that sense of I am an animal in pain.
No, but on the other hand, how do we know? I mean, it's not even that is sure in a way.
What do you mean, that the animals don't have a me?
Yeah, or that they don't reflect. I mean, the way that a human seems to reflect, even though it doesn't, because there is no human, but there could just as well be reflection within the animal. It just might appear in a different way than in the human.
Yeah, ultimately it's not known, but it seems like an impossibility here from watching animals. I'm spending so much because everything's so immediate. Like my dog can be growling her head off at the other. I've got my bitch, the girl dog, can growl at the other bitch and be pinning her to the floor or snapping at her or something. And all I need to do is snap the brain out of it. So you could use a sound, or you just snap the brain out of it and it's over. Both sides, they both get up and they're like, oh, hello, Lisa. Tick, 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 tick. They're not even, oh, hello, Lisa. It's just, oh, tick, 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 chicken. They just see chicken. I'm the chicken person. And there's no, whereas the human, everything that happens is taken personally and seems to elaborate into time. This is happening. Someone just hit me. Like, but it's not known, and and when the me dissolves, there's just what is. So it's not even a contemplation. Like it's not even a thing that there could potentially be something else in there. Nobody else is left. If you get that, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. it's like just to like keep on with this standpoint that I was taking.
This what? Sorry.
Just to keep with the standpoint that this one was taking, is that a story that there are two cats here, and there was a third cat coming to the house and eating of their food.
Yeah.
And then they smell that the cat has been there, and they react to that. And then the next evening, one of the cats would come to the food and would act as if it would think, is this cat around again now, and looking out and like searching for that cat. And then through that event, the interpretation here would be, oh, she remembers that the cat has been here yesterday, and now she is worried that it might be coming back again. And she really seems to like look and is it coming? You know, like anticipating.
Yeah.
And so that could like bring up the interpretation that there is an appearance of time and memory, and you know.
Yeah. And I just see that as complete programming, just like the insect or the plant. The plant maybe is better, grows towards the sun.
Yeah.
It's just programming that's running its way out.
Then that's the same thing in the apparent me dynamic of the human. It's just programming.
Yeah. Seemingly running out.
Yeah.
And then this me dynamic's another programming which jumps up and says, I am doing it. It's mine.
So in that sense, I would come back to there is no difference in the animal having no me dynamic and the human having no me dynamic. It's
just the human programming is a bit more complicated than the dog programming. Like the dog is more complicated than the fish's programming.
Yeah.
And the fish is maybe more complicated than the tree, although trees can be pretty complicated in the expression.
There used to be the imagination of talking to trees in Karin's story. Conversations.
Well, they always the research apparently implies that it helps plants grow sound.
Yeah. Yeah, just as if there is no sunlight, they might not grow, but it's part of the illusion too. But it seems to be working that way. So why shouldn't it be with sound?
But it's just
it's different if you talk to them so they will grow better, or if you talk to them to get answers.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe.
Karin's like, the tree's given me the answer. It's exactly the same as going to some guru as well. It's like the guru's given me the answer, but it's not anything outside. It's just all a game. It's not any different.
Yeah.
Really. It's just the guru seems to move a lot more and sound seems to come out.